a very good evening to you. And here we are once again on a Friday evening. H with you through until the top of the hour. Sweet and swing your 60 minutes of nostalgia. What have we got? How about some Peggy Lee? Haven't heard from her for a while. I don't think we got our song from Jimmy Van Heusen last week. We will this week. Bit of spookiness from Raymond Scott. Madame Tussaud's Dance Orchestra. And to get us going, well, let's get it together. There they go, fading into the distance. Great track, isn't it? Get it together, or let's get together, to be honest. Chick Webb and the orchestra. Haven't heard from Chick for a wee while. Amazing drummer, credited with, influencing so many and bands that followed him, particularly drummer-led bands like Louis Bellson and Gene Krupa and some of those great swing band leaders. Chick himself, born in Baltimore in Maryland, and he's one of those characters where the year of his birth is somewhat disputed. Somewhere around about 1905, but it might be a year or two either side, one way or another. And he suffered with a back problem, so he was sort of almost like sort of hunchback to a degree. So amazing, really, when it was such a physical instrument, and he did have a sort of a disability from that point of view. But he was one of those people who just got on with life, and even though he had this deformed spine and gave him this hunchback appearance, it was just his life for him. He just went on and did it, and was meant to be a really lovely chap. The idea of playing the drums, I'm told, was suggested to him by his doctor because it helped loosen up his bones. So he, in early days, worked as a newspaper boy, bought some drums, and by the age of 7, he was doing some professional gigs. By his teens, he'd moved into New York City and was leading his own band in Harlem. And then he alternated between residencies in New York at the Savoy Ballroom and also playing as one of the great new swing-style drummers. Really powerful technique and a great sort of showman as well. And at his peak was widely regarded as the best jazz drummer going. I'm told he used custom-made pedals. I was reading this in Wiki just as we were listening to that. Custom-made pedals and gooseneck cymbal holders. You don't see those anymore. You know, those big curvy. You see them in the Ellington bands and such like, those big curvy cymbal holders. And a 28-inch bass drum and lots of other percussion, which you don't hear so much these days. And as I say, a wonderful chap who always just got on with life and never complained, never more so towards the end of his life when his health began to decline. But it was the era of the Great Depression, and he just carried on playing, even though he was in great pain, I think, and discomfort a lot of the time. It's said that he often would just pass out after sets. He was so exhausted. But his angle was, if he didn't keep the band going, all his instruments, all his players would be out of work. And so he carried on despite causing a lot of problems to himself. A great drummer and a great man from all accounts as well. We haven't heard him for a while. We'll have more Chick Webb, I think, in weeks to come. We're heading towards Halloween, so I thought we might give things a little bit of a spooky slant here and there. Why not? It's only Halloween, or Hop-Tune. Yes, Hop-Tune, before someone tells me off. I think of it as both in many ways, but Hop-Tune over here and Halloween, they're actually separate things, to be fair. Hop-Tune and Halloween aren't the same celebration, but we happen to have it on the same day. So choose which you will. Hop-Tune for the Manxies. Halloween, if you'd rather be more global about it, or British about it, I suppose. But we should say Hop-Tune on the Isle of Man, I guess. We are on the Isle of Man after all. So we'll give it a few little spooky twists here and there. However, I think we missed out on the songs of Jimmy Van Heusen last week. So to make up, I'm going to play one early doors. And here it is.
Just say that I'm a friend of yours, and maybe they won't get wild. And if they see us together, I'll brush the dreams from my eyes. I'll tell my heart it mustn't say the feels yours, that you happen to meet
Ah, there you go. That sounded suitably romantic, I think, didn't it? Jimmy Van Heusen, the songbook of Jimmy Van Heusen. Don't Say That I'm a Friend of Yours. Stuart Foster taking the vocals, Tommy Dorsey and the orchestra providing some rather wonderfully lush backing on that one. And, of course, if you're a fan of the road films, I always remember them playing when I was a kid at home. They always, well, not always on TV, but they seem to be frequently cropping up. They never seem to appear now, at least it's difficult to say. There's so many channels, I suppose. There could be a channel dedicated to them somewhere in the ether, which I just don't know about it. But you know, the road films, Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, and usually lots of glamorous women as well, somewhere along the line. Well, that was the Burke Van Heusen team. The road films, Road to Zanzibar in 1941 included It's Always You, which had a version by Russ Morgan, I think, at one stage, and then Sinatra and Dorsey did it as well. And then following year, The Road to Morocco. Some believe the best of the series. I'll leave that with you if you're a fan. And that included Van Heusen's early theme song, Moonlight Becomes You. And that went on to chart at number 15 for Harry James, and then number 5 for Glenn Miller. And then who made it a number 1? Well, of course, who else? Bing Crosby. Right, first of all, a little spooky section today for Hop Tune, stroke Halloween, take your pick. But I do think I hope you've got a turnip, not a pumpkin. They're lovely, but should be a turnip. If for no other reason than they smell fantastic when you put a little candle inside them. The smell of burning turnip. Who isn't transported back to their childhood? The wonderful Raymond Scott, the eccentric and eccentric genius, I suppose you could call him in many ways, ahead of his time in lots of things. Here's a great track he called New Year's Eve in a Haunted House. Spooky? Maybe not. Wacky? Certainly. Brilliant? Absolutely. Raymond Scott and Midnight. No, I always call it Midnight. It's New Year's Eve for a haunted house, or in a haunted house, not midnight, as I always think of it for some bizarre reason. The man who made cartoons swing was his moniker, and yet, ironically, he didn't actually ever write a note directly for cartoons. It's just that, as you can hear, the style he was writing in was adopted for cartoons, or made cartoons swing, I guess. It just sounded right for the animations for so many. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Ren and Stimpy, The Simpsons, the animatics, you name it. It was just music which fitted perfectly into that genre. As I say, somewhat ahead of its time, bit wacky, lots of different instrumentations. It just was a perfect fit, and he was an early adopter of electronics and all sorts of stuff. A real genius in many ways, albeit an eccentric one. But there again, a lot of geniuses are, aren't they? Genii? See, you can tell I'm not one. What are the boys and girls at ENSA up to?
This is the ENSA radio unit, calling forces overseas and inviting you to take a break for music.
Howdy-do, everyone. This is Stephen Williams calling you up from Scotland and inviting you to break for music with us in this War Factory canteen. Geraldo and his orchestra are with us, and so are his singers. And the opening bid goes to Johnny Green, who's joining the orchestra in one of the Thank Your Lucky Stars tunes, I'm Riding for a Fall.
I'm riding for a fall. Doodin' up in my shirt and ties for the gal with the big blue eyes. Oh, I'm riding for a fall. Doodin' up in my two-tone shoes for the gal with the baby blues. Oh, yes, I know. She's a dangerous critter, I know.
She's a dangerous critter, I know.
She's a dangerous critter, but oh,
So?
I can't quit her. I'm riding for a fall. Doodin' up like I wasn't wise to the gal with the big blue eyes. Oh, yes, I know. She's a witch of a woman, I know.
She's a witch of a woman, we know.
She's a witch of a woman, I know.
So?
But I'm so human. I'm riding for a fall. Doodin'
up like he wasn't wise.
to the gal with the big blue eyes.
Oh, yes, we know.
People died of her cooking.
We know.
People died of her cooking.
We know.
People died of her cooking, but oh,
So?
is she good looking? I'm riding for a fall. Doodin' up like I wasn't wise
To the gal.
to the gal,
To the gal.
to the gal,
To the gal. To the gal.
with the big blue eyes.
Oh, yes, indeed, indeed. Wild applause, it has to be said, for boys and girls at ENSA, or where else. And leading into a second section of a concert, there's lots of concerts as they were broadcast. As you can tell, it really sort of puts you there, I think, in many ways. And so it started to you with Over to You, Geraldo and his orchestra, and then I'm Riding for a Fall. Terrific stuff. I've been enjoying that. There's a 2 CD set, the complete concerts of Ensa. And I know sometimes the quality, as I say, wasn't right up there because of where they were and who was available and all the rest of it. But usually you can just sense that. You sense the moment, I think, don't you? You're really there. You feel that the people just need a break, and you think it's in the harshest of circumstances. Somehow or other, it's that human spirit, isn't it? You still need to be entertained or you want to smile, you want to hear something lovely. So songs about love and whatever. She's a dangerous critter, but I can't quit her. You can almost be shot alone for those sort of lyrics. Terrific stuff, though. I enjoyed it very muchly indeed. It is Sweet and Swing. H with you through until the top of the hour, of course. How about a bit of Coleman Hawkins? A nice longie, as they say. Don't take your love from me. Oh, that's a nice, long, slowy, stretched out. Yeah, really enjoying that one from the album Nighthawk. That's been in the bag off and on for years, I must admit, only because I like it so much. I think Coleman Hawkins, the genius of Coleman Hawkins, celebrated on several albums on 2 CDs from our friends at Avid Jazz, and thanks as ever to them for supplying so much of this great music. From that sort of mid-period, I guess, sort of swing onwards is quite often the stuff, but they did do some earlier stuff at one stage, and they do some good classic stuff. They do country, do all sorts on these collections. Several albums on 2 CDs. In this particular case, you have albums including Beanbags, Milt Jackson and Coleman Hawkins, The Genius of Coleman Hawkins, and the album we just heard there, Nighthawk, Coleman Hawkins with Eddie Lockjaw Davis. So Coleman himself on tenor, Eddie Lockjaw Davis on the second tenor, Tommy Flanagan piano, Ron Carter bass, and Gus Johnson at the drums, from New Jersey in 1960, if you want to be exact about it. Peggy Lee, we haven't heard from her for a while. I promised you a little bit, didn't I? Why Don't You Do It Right? Living Era album. And here's one probably appropriate. It's I was going to say, is it autumn weather or winter weather we've got at the moment? Plenty of wind and rain and mist and such like. Maybe it's more autumnal, and perhaps it'll stay that way for a while. Unsettled in any case, I think, for the next few days. But as far as Peggy's concerned, it's winter weather.
I love the winter weather, so the two of us can get together. There's nothing sweeter, finer, when it's nice and cold. I can hold my baby closer to me and collect the kisses that outdo me. I love the winter weather, 'cause I got my love to keep me warm.
I love the winter weather, so the two of us can get together. There's nothing sweeter or finer, when it's nice and cold. I can hold my baby closer to me and collect the kisses that are due me. I love the winter weather, 'cause I got my love to keep me warm.
I love the winter weather, so the two of us can get together. There's nothing sweeter, finer, when it's nice and cold. I can hold my baby closer to me and collect the kisses that outdo me. I love the winter weather, 'cause I got my love to keep me warm.
Oh, a little twofer there. First up, Peggy Lee, of course, with Winter Weather, or Autumn Weather. I mean, I don't know where we are with that at the moment, but you know what I mean. Hopefully we'll just stay with the wind and the rain. And don't generally get that much snow, do we? If we do, it's usually Easter rather than Christmas. But in the meantime, we just put up with leaves clogging the drains and floods on the roads everywhere and all the rest of it. There we are, it's that time of year. Followed on by Madame Tussaud's Dance Orchestra, directed by Stanley Barnett, with another wintry, spooky, perhaps, autumnal track called Lightning. And the Madame Tussauds Orchestra in themselves, an interesting bunch. I don't think you'll find them there anymore, although, of course, you will find Madame Tussauds still going great guns. 1802 she landed at Dover, would you believe, the Madame of Tussauds fame, and eventually started this permanent exhibition in London, at first in Baker Street, and then from 1884 onwards, not that far away at the present site in Marylebone Road. She died in 1850 herself, but her two sons carried on, and then in the mid-20s, 1925, there was a massive fire, which, well, I think everything melted, basically. However, undeterred, they reopened again in 1928, and they're still at that site and still doing great guns, and you'll still queue to get in, as you would have done for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years or more, I dare say. However, in 1930s, a restaurant and small dance floor was provided as part of the exhibition facilities. I'm sure there's still some sort of cafeteria there, but I'm pretty certain that you won't actually find any, well, dance facilities. I stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure it's not still there. And so the dance floor and the restaurant used to be able to be reached through the doors to the right of the main vestibule, and as it was noted, patrons could recover from the Chamber of Horrors over a table d'hote dinner served from 6 to 9:30 p.m. for 3 and 6. That's not bad, is it? That's 17.5 pence, 18 pence if you round it up, 18 pence. They could also dance from 8 to 11 p.m, no extra charge, to a first-class orchestra smartly attired in well-cut green suits. And they were the gentlemen. No, they were all gentlemen you've just heard. The band leader, one Stanley Barnett, an excellent musician from all accounts. He doubled on tenor sax, also violin, as well as leading the orchestra, and had been well known in the dance band world in the days. He played at the Carlton and Regent Palace hotels in London, and also been playing in Germany and Scandinavia. And then in the 30s, arrangements were made for the famous name in the gramophone business, Edison Bell, to record them. Decca had an interest in them as well, and they went on to record that orchestra. A jazz critic of the day, Edgar Jackson, who used to work for the Gramophone magazine, said of one of their recordings, the arrangement's almost identical with the Ellington on Brunswick's, no complaints on that score, but he considered the band failed in its lack of swing. But he liked the trumpet work of Billy Farrell. Didn't mince his words, one way or another. We're going to go slightly more wacky, but with good taste. On the Right Road, some classic motoring music. We've had some good novelty numbers in this one. This one, I suppose, is a novelty number, but you know it's going to be good because it's by Fats Waller.
Us on the bus, riding on for hours through the flowers. When the passengers make room, whisper bride and groom, that's us on a bus. 2 in 1 seat, love on every detour. You can be sure that I'll show you how it feels to honeymoon on wheels with 2 in 1 seat. Slow down, Route 27 is the nearest thing to heaven I know. Speed up, start hitting 60 and my heart will jump and thump. Oh, oh, what a bump. Us on a bus, kisses intimating that we're waiting till it's time to light the lamps. Hit the tourist camps, that's us on a bus, yeah. speed up. Step on the gas and as we roll along, let's sing a song of buzz. Getting off Jake, time from big time. Today's driver calls all out Niagara Falls to us on a buzz. Yeah. All out swing set.
Always love his little outros. Marvellous. Us on a bus. Who else could it be but Fat Swallow from our On the Right Road classic motoring music in our genre, as it were. Some weird, some wacky, some good fun. I think that ticks all those boxes, really. And excellent playing, of course. Particularly from the trombonist, who spent the vast amount of time just growling, which I quite like. In the background, just growling through the mouthpiece. Wonderful stuff. Yes. Fits very well with the music, I dare say. But always enjoyable, Fat Swallow. I don't think he did anything that I don't like. Organ music, straight piano music, some of his great scat singing, just wonderful stuff. And as I've said off before, what a man to have seen live. He must have been a fantastic entertainer. Bit of love? Why not? I think we need plenty of that at the moment around the world, don't we? What is this thing called love? Fairly invisible in lots of parts of the world, I would suggest, but, well, let's play this and think about it in any case. It's what makes the world go round, or should do, at least. Helen Forrest with Artie Shaw and his orchestra. Say It With a Kiss. From our happy collection of love songs. What is this thing called love? And yes, it's in short supply around the world at the moment, isn't it? Let's leave it there. Bit more hop-tuneism, I'm thinking. From actually, a double whammy, this one. The selection is called Big Band Magic, and a picture on the front I was just looking at. It might be Artie Shaw. I'm not too sure. It could be with a singer in the band in the background, but it doesn't actually have that labelled who it is. Great picture on the front cover in any case. So yes, Big Band Magic, which I thought fitted fairly well into our spooky hop-tune theme, as indeed does this track as well. Devil's Holiday. Benny Carter and the Boys, Devil's Holiday, the last of our hop-tune Halloween-themed songs this evening. Hope you have a great hop-tune, whatever you're doing, whether you're out with your turnip lantern or hiding behind the curtains or something in between, just ignoring the whole thing altogether. But you shouldn't do. It's a great little, it's a lovely time of the year. There is a bit of magic in the air, I always think. Right, time for a last little bit of sentimental bing before Christmas, I think. Meet the Sun Halfway.
Stop hiding behind a pillow whenever the dawn looks gray. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. There may be a fortune waiting, or maybe an egg souffle. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. get into the tub. And as you begin to rub and scrub, give out with your version of the road to Mandalay. Don't ever expect the bright side served up to you on a tray. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. Be like Buck Rogers, just look where he is today. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. You may be a new Dick Tracy, conducting an expose. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. Now don't you blame your luck. Say, do you want to sound like Donald Duck? You know when you smile, you throw yourself a big bouquet. You'd even show little Abner the way to win Daisy May. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway.
Wise advice at this time of the year, I think, from Bing. Not they have a great deal of option on the Isle of Man sometimes. You just got to get up and at it. But I know exactly what he means. Yes, it is that temptation, isn't it, when, like this morning, the rain was thundering down at one stage, and you're thinking, oh, you really want to pull the covers over your head and just think, yeah, I think I'll just stay here for another hour or two and see what happens. Not that you have the option, of course, if you're still of working age. I suppose that's a retirement luxury to be able to do that one way or another. It's one of the best luxuries of retirement, it all strikes me, it has to be said. But there's a lot to be said for getting up and whether you'll find it. Well, you actually will find the sun, I think, this weekend. But it will be halfway, as Bing suggests. I don't think you're going to be finding it cracking the flags anytime soon. But that's what this time of the year is all about, isn't it? Compromise. Not getting too scared of the shadows and enjoying the wonderful scents and colours that autumn can bring. Trying to ignore the difficulties. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm very good at talking the talk, but my other half will tell you he's not quite so good at walking the walk and staying cheerful. But I do like autumn, honestly I do. A lovely crisp day, can't beat it. Right, get up, get out, enjoy whatever you're going to do this weekend. Stay dry, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Till then, cheerio.